I literally thought about it while y'all was
I
talking.
figured it out.
We're gonna keep it going.
How do you turn this on? This one?
I think he controls it.
Oh, there it is.
Are you guys all good? Do y'all need more time?
This one.
You got it.
This one.
Hello. Oh, thank you.
Do we need a break or are they?
Yeah, is everyone good? Do you need a little break, or we keep it going? Awesome. So that was an awesome panel. Let's give Matter News team a good round of applause. And my next guest here, I went to the City Pulse Young Professionals event, and there's like the top 50 young professionals in the city. I think we have a copy in here. Yeah, we do. So you can pass this around, because we actually have two presenters that was on the cover of that list. And we just kind of hit it off immediately. And why don't you tell I'm interested as well too, but like what's your upbringing? Where are you from? What brought you? How are you in Columbus, Ohio? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
It's a very warm morning in El Paso, Texas. That's where I was born. My family was kind of nomadic for a while, so if you couldn't tell, I'm black and Chinese. So that is my heritage. Usually, I think I've had one person guess that correctly in my entire life. It's not usually the first thing people go to, but yeah, I grew up here in Columbus, Ohio. My family was a little bit nomadic for a little while until about grade school. I went to a French immersion school, so I spoke French until 6th grade when I went to homeschool, and then my family at the time, like we were homeschooled, yes, but we only studied till maybe about noon every day. And when we weren't studying, we were practicing martial arts and performing martial arts like around the country. So that's kind of like my life until university, and then studied university for a little while, went to Taiwan for about a year, and then came back here and worked. And you know,
Hold on.
Yeah, yeah, my entire life story now.
How long did you live in Taiwan? What was that like? What years?
I was there for just like about 13 months. It's like 1 year.
Okay. How old are you though?
21.
Wow. What was that like? Did that really mold how you looked at the world?
So, like real talk, I went to Taiwan because I didn't want to live in the U.S. anymore.
How many people? I'm just kidding.
But no, I went there. I really got to know like the Chinese half of my family, because prior to that I had met them one time in my entire life, and it wasn't under the best circumstances. So it was really like a time to connect and just like really get to know like the eastern half of my family. And so like I learned the language. I did not speak a lick of Chinese before that, and after that year I got a job as a translator for a Fortune 500 company. So it was
Nice.
it was really good though. It's like my year of not working and just having fun learning to connect with my family.
So you brought up karate. Alex can do a backflip on command. You do that at the end of this. Tell us about coming to Columbus and working for the company, and then CLARAfi, and what led you to CLARAfi.
So coming back to Columbus, Ohio. So I guess I worked for the company for a while. I was doing translation, and this is what leads into my entrepreneurial journey. And CLARAfi was not the start of that journey at all. I was working there, and it was a really stressful. Like I think maybe the work environment was stressful for me. It's a good company, but found that I had 2 bald spots appearing on my head, so I went to the hospital, because I was, I'm like, 24 years old maybe, and he's like, I think you have stress, like a lot of stress, you should get rid of that stress. And so, I think it might have been 6 months later, I'm not sure, but I rage quit my job once, and I work second shift, so this is 9 p.m., I walk into my boss's office and say, hey, I'm not coming in tomorrow. He's like, you're not going to give 2 weeks notice? I'm like, no, I'm gonna leave. So I walk out, and then I get in my car and drive 13 hours up to Canada. Sudbury, Canada, it's like up in the middle of nowhere. I met a guy up there who had been doing this it's a traveling sales business. And I was like, I don't really care what I'm doing right now, but this guy's making a crap ton of money, so I'm gonna go learn how to make money. And we do a gig over a weekend, we pull in about 10 grand. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to the States and I'm gonna do this for full time. And so I spent about a year traveling around the U.S., going to different cities, buying up goods at trade shows, and then selling them at different locations that I pick around like around the entire U.S. So that was my first taste of doing any sort of business and making more money than you do at a 9-to-5 job.
How'd you meet the guy?
He's connected to my brother. He was like, well, this guy, he does something business. I'm like, what kind of business? He's like, I don't really know. You should go talk to him. So rage quit your job and drive 13 hours. That's what I did.
So when did you stop doing that?
I stopped doing it after I got tired of not sleeping. I mean, it was cool. I'm working, like, there's probably not a whole lot much better than waking up on the beach every single day to, like, that's your work. But if you're working 13-hour days, like, yeah, it's a great morning, and then it's like nighttime and you haven't slept or taken a break for 2-week periods straight. Like that was like the actual what the work looked like. I was a one-man show, so I was afraid to hire any employees because I heard of people like just swiping your cash when you're not looking. So I wouldn't hire anybody, and I would just work like straight. And you get burned out after doing that for long enough time. So I quit doing that, and it took about 3-4 months trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. And that's when I think that's when I did what was that one?
Daily vlogs?
No, that was later.
Okay.
I think this was a ginger beer company that came afterwards. So yeah, I got into ginger beer manufacturing, produced my own beverage and sold it in markets around Columbus. It didn't get like super large because the FDA found us, but before that happened though, my brother and I, we were trying to think of like what I should do next, and we got into drinking ginger beer. And we're like, I really like ginger beer, but you know, there isn't really a strong beverage out there that's like really nice and organic. And so then we spent 9 months creating this drink and learning how to manufacture drinks and how to start a business selling like cold pressed sodas, and that's how that started. We did pretty well. Like, we'd go to farmers markets, we'd sell every week, it'd sell out every single time. It was not a cheap beverage. I was really surprised anybody bought it. But it did really well, and then we actually got contracts with, I think, 6 or 7 different stores around town. Like Lucky's Market was one of them. What? So if you were lucky enough to go there and catch it in the month that we were in the store, then
So like, what happened?
FDA said apparently when you're doing a cold pressed beverage made out of organic ingredients, they apply the same restrictions that they do with fish. So I think we had a person assigned to monitor our process for creating it, and so we gave them our like an actual documentation for it, and they come and like watch us randomly. And then she quit her job, and so we had no one to like officially allow us to wholesale. We just kept on wholesaling until we got a letter that said you should recall all of your product because that's not legal, and that's what happened.
Dang. So then, how did you start doing the daily vlogs? What?
So that came later.
Yeah.
Let's
fast forward there.
Yeah, fast forward.
Yeah.
All right. So fast forward. I was making. I think I had a podcast where I would interview different entrepreneurs around town and also around the world, and I was doing that for about 2 years, every single week. And one of the guests on the show, his name is Calvin Wayman, and he said that I should begin sharing my own story, and he really like trying to get me to do video. And so I think it was like 3 months after him constantly prodding, I started recording videos on my iPhone 5S, or iPhone SE, and just making daily videos, doing that. And I eventually went to different events around town. I was going to probably 5 or 6 events every single week for half a year. And that turned into me doing freelance videos for other like events, business owners, and companies. And I upgraded to an iPhone 10 doing those freelance videos. So some of the videos that you might see these companies put out were done on an iPhone 10. It's hard to tell when it looks like a video. But that's how I got into doing vlogs. Nice. Some guy told me you make videos. I was like, all right, I'll make videos.
So he did a vlog for every day for 365 days straight. So if you go to your YouTube channel, there's what, 300?
There's too many videos.
There's a ton of videos. And then something happened, and you started another baby. So let's talk about the new
All right, so
business.
CLARAfi is it didn't. I think this is maybe confusing because it didn't come from the video project. It came because sometime after the ginger beer and before the video thing started, I met a guy who wanted to just find someone to do what he was doing. He worked in commercial insurance, so that's something that I had no experience in, but I wasn't doing anything other than mountain climbing and meditating at the time. And he's like, you should come do what I'm doing. And so I joined this guy's company. He was originally from Arizona, started a branch over here, and so I just joined him, and then I got to learn the commercial insurance industry. That's kind of where CLARAfi was born. We would meet up in his house, just like sitting in his hot tub, and then I'd talk about like my views on like capitalism and business, and my belief with business that it's created to add value and to solve problems. If you're not doing that, then your business might not need to exist, which sounds really harsh, but I think the logic behind it is that the consumer has an issue or a problem that needs solved, and then someone will come and create a solution that they find valuable enough to exchange value in, or like they'll with currency, and that's where CLARAfi came into the picture. I'm trying to think of where I can go from there.
Yeah. So describe the name and what's the problem that you're solving without giving too much away, of course.
No, of course. The name is an acronym. I know that chain ledger is in it because blockchain was a big inspiration for, like, the values behind blockchain were a huge inspiration for what we're doing. I guess back to the whole idea that businesses are created in order to add value and to solve a problem. A lot of the time right now, when it comes to like data and marketing, like companies will create a product and then they will spend millions of dollars trying to market to consumers that they need this product. And then they spend more money to try and make sure that people continue buying new products, new iterations of the same thing to solve a fictitious problem that they've also created with those marketing dollars. They will spend money on a lot of data. So if you have a Facebook account or you're on the internet, they will spend millions of dollars trying to get your data to then use that data to spend more marketing dollars to get you to buy more things. And that's like this idea of creating a business with an exponential growth model for a market that doesn't have an exponential need for that problem or perceived problem that they're making up. So what CLARAfi is beginning to do, we're trying to take, we're trying to give users control of their data again. And by that we're saying that,
in the home buying process. Or is it like just only in the home buying commercial real estate?
So we're not in real estate, it's in commercial insurance. So it's a leap.
Got it.
Okay. The thinking process. But so when it comes to data, like I approached the problem in the commercial insurance industry the same way that I would as if it was a consumer. So like you think of insurance as a product. Insurance companies are spending the same, like if not more money, trying to create products based on data that sometimes they're like doing not much more than a Google search or like an educated guess to infer what a company might need. And so what we're doing is creating a system where companies can take control over their data. So like companies could pay these third parties money for access to their data, or the companies can have control of the data themselves, keep it in-house, and then they can shop out to whichever carrier they want. And not only that, but get a product that is catered directly to what problem that they need. So the insurance package or product they're getting is one that's designed specifically for their company, rather than a blanket project for like any business within this industry. It saves the insurance company a whole lot of risk and a whole lot of money spent that would otherwise get spent on marketing, and it also means that they're not insuring things that don't need to be insured, and they're not overcharging companies for risks that aren't there.
Well said. Well said. Maybe we should take some questions from the audience. Does anyone have any questions, Cassie?
So what stage are you in right now in terms of like building the company and the product, I guess?
So I would say we're in alpha right now. We have 20 companies, or 20 entities. A few of those users have like 13 different companies, so it's a little bit hard to keep track sometimes, but we have, so we're in alpha. It's a closed program right now. We're probably gonna go to MVP like 0.5 in a few months, and then a full MVP 1 hopefully shortly after if we can keep our deadlines.
What exactly does that mean?
So an open beta would mean that any company can sign on, and that would be like where they can either come on the free plan or the paid plan.
Okay.
So right now you're working with about 20 companies.
Yeah, 20 different entities right now.
Cool.
After hearing the FDA story, do you have to get a license from the state just because the insurance industry is very regulated?
Yeah, so a lot of that was all acquired when I became a broker in insurance. I essentially just like went and learned a new industry and started working in it. And so we're both licensed. Like I'm insurance licensed. My partner, co-founder, is licensed in like finance and insurance, and we grilled our lawyer for a long time to make sure we weren't breaking any rules before officially diving full on into this.
That's good.
Good question.
Yeah.
You probably don't want to experience that again.
No more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're towing a line. It's all right.
So how can the community help right now?
Good question.
Right now, I mean, my big focus right now is marketing. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to express the company's vision, so that anyone can understand. Because I think when I talk about it from a strictly commercial insurance standpoint, the eyes glaze over and they're not really entirely sure what I'm even doing. But my passion behind it, like the whole why, giving power to people, control of their data. Because eventually, I mean, long-term company goals. Yeah, I want to roll out a direct-to-consumer version of this whole proprietary data thing. Because I think that everyone who's watched any news recently knows that big companies and your data don't usually mix too well.
Wow. Well, there are a few Rev 1 venture guys in here. I think that you could probably pick their brain. And does anyone else have any questions? Awesome. Well, thank you, Alex. We'll give it a little break and then Alexia and Cassie.